All right, so I'm gonna talk about the Black Lives Matter movement and the lily white people who get behind it. Oh, I put my seatbelt on. Just came at the gas station over here. Ran out of gas on the way to work. I'm a dick. Anyway, so what I've realized, because I bumped into a few white people that they bring the black. I talk to a lot of people, and what I don't do is I don't really pick on people who think differently than I do. I just try to prove a point, which becomes difficult because typically what will happen is if a guy like me tries to prove his point with somebody and I just mention facts, it turns into an argument. They try to divert off the fact and they just try to make it a yelling match. And that's the problem. That's the problem. Nobody wants to focus and zero in on facts to resolve problems. You just all want to hear themselves talk. They want to shout you down, and they want to make a mess out of the conversation. So, with that being said, I've bumped into recently a few people who one of them has a big Black Lives Matter thing on his lawn. Now, these particular people are as white as snow, right? They have no affiliation with anybody darker than me, except the people who mow their lawn and, work around the house and whatnot, right? So, I've heard a lot about white privilege, and I've always, got pissed off with the term. I thought it was bullshit and everything else. And it occurred to me that, holy shit, white privilege is a thing. It's true. It is so true. And what it is, it's these lily white people, right, with the Black Lives Matter banners on their front lawn, who learn about people darker than them from the TV and from the internet, and don't actually know any, and don't realize that racism was a thing of the past, in my world anyway, and it just gets drug up from politicians trying to win elections every fourth year. So what I've realized is the white privilege. Let's just try to unpack that. So what I've realized was with the white privilege is that there's one person, let's just say Bob is the name. It's not his name, but let's just say Bob. Bob lives in an area. He has very wealthy parents. They've helped him all through life. They've done a lot for him. They bought him his first house, gave him his first house. They pay for everything he has. They've given him a few businesses, like franchises, like they set him up to run them. And Bob is an intelligent guy, Ivy League education, but he can't keep a job. He can't work for people. He's got this thing about him where he's smarter than the rest of the world, but he just, can't listen to people tell him what to do. I mean, I have that problem also, but I opened a business and I work for myself. So Bob is telling me how, he's anti-Trump. He's even distancing himself from people who like Trump. He doesn't associate with people like me anymore, and I'm not a big Trump freak. I just think that he was the best president we ever had, barring his mouth and stupidity and other things that he's done. But the man did the job. He did the job. So anyway, the Bob, okay, he's talking to me about the reparations and yes, and this and that, and white people this and white people that. And Bob's whole family is on that side. They're just hating of cops. They're hating of white people, And what I'm listening to him and I realize, I said, Bob, you know what? You're white privileged. First time in my life I've really understood white privilege. So I'm not going to go into the back and forth details. I'm just going to explain what I had said to him. I said, you know what, Bob? You grew up in a lily white world, surrounded by lily white people, and you had everything handed to you. So you're in a state right now of guilt because you never had to work for anything. So you have this guilt in you, right? And you sit there on your throne and you look at the color thing, the difference in color with people, as if black people need your support, as if black people are beneath you. So technically, Bob, you're racist. Oh, no, again, I'm not going to get into the conversation. I'm just going to get my point across and what I got across to him. So, Bob, you're racist. You feel as though that black people need your sympathy because you're privileged. But what Bob does is, he doesn't look at himself in the mirror and realize what a white privileged piece of shit he is. What Bob does is he looks at me and Trumpsters and blue collar people as if we're white devil, communist, racist idiots, you know, and we're the problem. Look, I got news for you. I grew up in a very mixed environment. A black guy to me was just another kid. He was competition to me, you know, whatever it may have been. I had to, you know, beat him to the job, the car, the deal, you know, school, whatever it was. And I grew up where we all hung out together and we joke about each other's differences and we had a good time doing it. And now, every day of the week, I'm around people of color, if you want to call them that. I don't know. You know, I don't call people African Americans, okay? Because not everybody's from Africa who's dark. That's another stereotypical bullshit term that idiot white people throw around, all right? So what I realized, the guy like me, and I'll repeat it again, you know, on my own, 17 years old, worked myself up from the bottom, built the business, you know, one of the last of the Mohicans in the way of, you know, self-made. Not that I'm like, you know, uber rich and yada, 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 or rich at all. I'm just a working slob, but I get by because I work my ass off and I never had anything given to me. See, when you give shit to people, there's another thing I have a problem with. Keep giving people things. It's like giving a cat a dish of food or a saucer of milk every day, a wild cat. Keep doing that shit, the cat will stop hunting and end up being fat and lazy like us Americans. And we'll never hunt again. And that's what the left side wants to do to people. Make them all stupid, dumbed down, sit home every day, give them a check every month, and just use them as tools surfing the internet and make money off corporate America by how many clicks they make or take. So ultimately, this guy Bob, I knew it sank in because I said, holy shit, Bob, you're that guy. You're that white privileged guy. You are that person and you're racist. You're all of what you're fighting against. It's within you. Go look in the mirror. You don't know anybody who's darker than you, except your landscaper, of course. You talk shit about white people. You call people white supremacists as if that's like a thing. You know, I got news for you people. KKK, white supremacists, go look at what they are. They're a bunch of old hillbillies hanging out, sitting there drinking themselves into a stupor at a barbecue somewhere, you know, talking shit, you know. They're not like this big regime who's out there integrated in the whole world trying to, you know, kill people who are darker than them. You know, it's the biggest crock of shit. And go look up that Candace Owens video where Candace wanted to see the numbers when these politicians were talking about how white supremacy. I don't know, look, keyword, Candace Owens, white supremacist, white supremacy. Google it. Watch her video, how she kicks the shit out of these, you know, liberal white people in a courtroom, I guess you'd call it. But anyway, at the end of the day, white privilege does exist. Holy crap, it does. And I just figured it out. And Jane, same thing. She's one of these, like, man, white as snow, just went off the deep end and jumped right into the world of people darker than her. You know, she tells me how nice her landscaper is and how she gives him a bonus. Meanwhile, I give my garbage men, sanitation men, a bigger bonus. Plus we give them bottles of water. You know, it's just the right thing to do. And I've been doing it, and they're white, black, and everything else. And she just started this thing, you know. She just jumped right into, hey, hate white people. And, you know, white people have systemic racism within them. Let me tell you something about racism. Like I said before, it's a scab. Don't pick at it, it will go away. And if somebody's racist, they will stick out like a sore thumb. They will pay the price, and it'll be their problem. When people complain about others being racist, they're trying to get involved with mind control. Who cares if a guy's racist? That's his own prerogative. I don't care if someone hates me because I'm white. I don't give a rat's ass. That's fine. At the end of the day, it's how someone thinks, and that's their business. And to give a shit about racism in this day and age is just a diversion from all the problems we really, really have. Like Cuomo killing people like crazy in nursing homes. Holy crap. Holy crap. The man gets an award and he's killed thousands of people. It's horrible. It's horrible how narcissistic he is. How narcissistic he is, excuse me. Sorry, it's early and I ran out of gas. I'm freezing my ass off still. And I had to walk and push the car. It sucked. But, you know, at the end of the day, white privilege exists. And it's all these leftist white assholes jumping up and down, feeling bad for people who are darker than them. You know what? You people suck. You really, really suck. And you don't want to look in the mirror and see how bad you suck. So you choose to point your finger at me and everybody else. And, you know, this president, okay, and this vice president, everybody said, give him time, give him time. Every day they're in office, shit gets worse. Shit gets bad. But you'll never know it. The left side of people will never know because they don't watch the only channel that talks about it. They don't watch. There's a couple of channels. There's Newsmax and there's Fox. And look, I'm not saying I agree with everything everybody says, but until you watch both sides, and I do, I drift over to CNN just so I can say I do it and I see what they say. I want to vomit when I hear those people on CNN and those other channels below it. The news is just so hateful of the white heterosexual male today and anything to do with it. It's sad. And it's so obvious. The media is tilted. We know that. And everybody's programmed by what they watch. So that's why I try to watch everything. And look, I see what what Fox does. I see what they say. I see how they say it. And I see the same story over in CNN. And I just, 80% of the story is hype at CNN. 20% is at Fox. That's how I call it. And if you could sit there and say you voted for Biden, just voting for the man makes you effed up. Just like, holy crap, the fact that you couldn't put your heart to the side about how you felt about Trump and not see the job that he did and how good things were in the world because of that man, and you voted for Biden, says you're effed up right there. Number one. Number two, if you think he's actually doing anything positive today, and you think you still believe in this dynamic duo we have in office, well, you're even more effed up. I don't know what to tell you. I can't help you. You can't be helped. I'm sorry. I watch these people talk about everybody who voted for Trump, how to deprogram us. Holy shit. We think for ourselves. Not all of us. There's a bunch of lunatics out there, I gotta say. There are. We could go into all this BS. Let's stick to the white privilege shit. So Bob is a white privileged piece of crap, racist asshole. Doesn't even realize it. And not only is he racist towards blacks and everybody darker than him, he's alienated the white race by hating them. And this Black Lives Matter thing, I'm fine with the statement. I'm not good with the organization, okay? Because yes, Black Lives, all lives matter, we know. The organization is a Democratic ran organization that gets money for politicians, as far as I understand. And you can look the shit up. Anything you disagree with, just Google it up. Look on the internet. I gotta go to work, 15 minutes. I gotta go, I got shit to do. White privilege, it's a thing. And the idiots who like Black Lives Matter, who are white, They're the white privileged assholes.